And that brings us to session number 48. So your characters have survived 48 sessions of OCRAP.
Oh, no, I think there has been more than 46 sessions of OCRAP.
Some of it's catching up, finding out what crap we're about to hit.
Or what the OCRAP actually meant from the previous session.
Yeah.
Okay, so today at the game we have Paul,
Who is playing Cluel, who is a pretty boy warlock diplomat and part-time healer.
and then I realised I had the mic not pointing at him, so that will help more.
Well, it would. That's right, it's pretty quiet in here. Yeah. Pretty elf boy, blue hair, blue clothes, talks nice. And then we've got...
And aspires to be a dragon.
And aspires to be a dragon. He's been working on that particular one for a little while. Not as assiduously as he could. But that's only due to not having dragonologists to learn from. Hopefully there's one here.
There is one here. There's a dragon.
Even better.
They are the source of all dragonology.
Yes. But having one here is nice. And then we have the barbarian. We have Jeremy.
Yeah. And then online we have Jeremy.
Yes, good evening all. I'm playing Pedadir, the born to the deer tribe of the Elk clan from the Atruaghin tribes. Started life as a equivalent of a policeman, and however it turned out that Atruaghin had greater plans for the now old Atruaghin clansman, as he's been sent out in the world to try and control or discover and control what might be happening, so that then he can help keep all the clans of Atruaghin safe.
So you've turned from a cop into an emergency response officer.
He's upgraded. Okay, so...
But slightly bigger emergencies than what he thought he had.
Yes, considering we have a well-girdling one at the moment.
In the background we have the Cursestra Into the Mists music from Sirenscape. Because, well, Atruaghin always helps.
Yes.
And we are playing through part of the storyline of Castle Amber, which is one of the old settings reimagined by Goodman Games, and then completely modified on the fly by me as we play. So Jeremy's used to that quite a lot, and Paul's used to that too by now. Especially when you go back and read, hey, it didn't do that in the book. But it was better. Or it could have been better.
Well, we all know Martin's been changing things on how he's been doing stuff in this game anyway, including how magic items work. So not everything's going to be the same. That's expected.
So last session we had you exploring Castle Amber, finding out about the curse, freeing a woman from a crypt, then helping tie up said woman after she tries to kill the person who buried her.
Although apparently her attacking him was entirely valid.
Valid? Yes, no.
He did bury her alive.
Yeah.
Yes.
But in his defense, he thought she was dead and he doesn't have medicine.
So not much of a defense.
But she's sleeping calmly now, or magically, depending on how you look at it. But
Yes. Yes. One note, due to the effects of the locale, the fact that she was buried alive probably 300 years ago doesn't actually matter too much, except for boredom purposes.
well,
Because no time is actually passing, although people still perceive duration.
that's like 300 years ago, earlier this morning.
Yeah.
Exactly. The thing is, she knows it was this morning, but she's experienced 300 years of being locked up in a stone box.
In twilight conditions.
It's actually pretty amazing she's as sane as she is. She keeps making those wisdom save rolls.
And hey, she might actually be one of the sanest people you've come across so far.
I know.
Indeed, that would not be difficult.
And she was the one who was buried alive.
Yeah.
That says something, doesn't it?
Yeah. About the
Well,
writers.
admittedly, she also had the advantage of being deathly ill when things happened.
Yeah, which is why they buried her.
Okay.
But also might have meant why she may have been less affected by the events.
That's true.
And you are currently in discussion with Charles Amber, or Charles de Amberville, because they like to give us a Englishization and a Frenchization of both names.
Just because.
Just because, yes.
Well, because they're an English family living in France.
Well, no, they're a French family.
French family, yeah.
Living in an English written setting.
Yes. All the writer's fault.
Well, hey, the original Gazette that they were done for has them all in the French only.
Which is fine.
I love
It
that.
saves wordage for a start. Anyway.
Okay, so he was going through the paperwork to try to help you find things you were looking for.
And he did find stuff.
He did find stuff. And that was what I'm going to tell you about.
Mm.
So, besides moving a old war shield that's shiny out of the way, and going through various books he has, basically he says that in the domain of Silaire is the key to the family's power.
Okay. Does it give a location for that?
There's the domain of Silaire, and he has no idea what that means. But he found a reference to it. He found something useful in the
Something else.
religious treaties, histories, reference works, and similar texts about a world that no longer exists.
I'm going to have a look at that then. And use my history skill as a research skill.
And it's all written in the language they call France.
I have comprehend languages as a ritual.
Which you use and then you realise it's not going to run out.
That's a good point. I cast all of my rituals.
But if something says concentration, then that will continue indefinitely, as long as you concentrate.
Yes. Yes. Comprehend languages, I think, isn't actually a concentration. It's just you cast it in the last amount of time.
So, but you said it was the domain of Solaire held the key to the family's history or something?
To the family's source of power.
Source of power.
Which is what we need to know.
But yes,
I've actually,
presumably the domain of Solaire is not actually in this castle.
yes.
Though from last session, you remember that apparently there is a portal to Silaire in the basement of this castle. It's the portal that. Was
The
hidden.
portal that took them from there. Okay, so yeah, so
How they
or
got here.
rather, there's a portal to this place of France. At which Solaire is probably somewhere there. Is that what we're saying? Yes.
The portal was supposed to be anchored in Silaire of France.
Oh, okay, right. So it's the specific land, the province, or whatever, within that location. Okay, yep.
Actually, the interesting one there on time usage, identify is still going to be per object because it talks about the object that you are identifying. and the fact that sometimes you actually have to cast it more than once.
Yeah. And the more obscure or the more powerful the item, the harder it is to find out information. Some things are never given.
Yes. Tell you what I seriously want. An item that allows me a permanent unseen servant.
Depends. He might speak with a French accent. And only in your head.
Not necessarily made here.
Okay, so the shield has symbology on it, a fleur-de-lis.
Okay.
And while it appears to be old, it doesn't appear to be in disuse.
But most importantly, it appears to be metal.
Appears to be metal, yes.
Metal shield. Rare and expensive.
Okay, so he also says that there is a entrance into the catacombs in the middle of the chapel.
Okay.
If I can actually find the page with the...
As in, like, under the altar or something, you mean? Or...
Well, that's what I'm trying to find with the map, because I know I've got the map here somewhere.
It's listed in there.
Because you were also trying to find out exactly where and when Stephen Amber got buried, wasn't he?
Yeah. And it's believed that Stephen Amber was buried in Silair.
Right.
Right, but he died here.
Yeah,
or
he died here.
in Glantry. Or somewhere.
Outside France.
So, I guess we're looking for that portal then.
Yeah. Back into the castle. What fun.
Just trying to get the numbers to match up. Okay, so that is exactly it. Okay. So yes, he says there are two entrances. One is in the chapel, and one is in the west wing.
Right.
He does not know where.
Which one's going to be easier to get to?
You're in the chapel.
We're in the chapel right now. We've been in the West Wing.
That simplifies things a bit.
Sorry, east wing. I meant east wing.
Oh, East Wing. Okay.
I sometimes get my left and right confused.
No, that's right. Exactly. Oh, we didn't explore everywhere in the West Wing, so there's certainly not inconceivable what's going to be there. But yes, we're in the chapel right now, so that would tend to be the closer entry. But it's uncertain where in the chapel this entry might be.
That is correct.
So far in this chapel, we've been into the main chapel area, and then the woman took us behind a couple of closed doors, I believe. But I don't know. I don't know exactly how big this chapel is or anything like that yet. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, given these guys, it's going to be a reasonable size.
If I can get this without pulling things over. Come on, little cable. We don't need to get caught up on things. Apparently we do. Because I don't want to pull down and break my mic further. There we go. So, just so Jeremy can see that, there's the map. And that is the chapel.
Okay, we're in
and you are
side rooms or back rooms? Okay, back rooms.
In one of those rooms down there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So rooms specifically, you were in.
If we still want to interact with statues, they're still there.
Yeah, there's lots of statues still there. Though technically only one of you can interact with them. So you're in room 63. So the one in the very back
Okay, yep.
So there is a passageway going all the way around to all the back doors there.
Yep.
And you can come out and come in the other side. So it goes all the way around.
Okay. Does he know what's in the room behind this space or beside? Because it looks like there's doors leading out of 63 to both 64 and 62.
Sorry, I've just managed to take my mic out of the...
Out of the system.
Okay, I think I got my mic back again, so...
Okay.
Yeah, it is...
Kennedy will have a look through those doors anyway.
Okay, so... The first door, well, the first one you go into is 63, and then you can go through 63 into the reliquary storage.
Mm-hmm.
If you really want to go into the reliquary storage, or into the vestry.
Well, I mean, obviously the main point he's looking for is a staircase going downwards.
And I would look in a storeroom for that.
Okay. Well, but I'd also be thinking of the fact that the well, yes, I don't know whether or not the entrance to the catacombs is likely to be specifically hidden or easily accessible. So, but okay, we'll try the reliquary storage first and have a look and see what's in there.
Okay, so it contains a number of mundane, ecclesiastical... Yeah, well, you can say it better than I can. My words can't get around it.
Yeah.
But hey, I'll bastardize it for the sake of things. Piled on the shelves about the place. Cakes of incense, pewter censers, altar clothes, brass candlesticks, and similar objects visible about the room. As you're entering, give me a perception check. Wisdom perception.
19's a good start.
Yeah, I did about the same. That's should be.
Where's my perception? 29.
29. Okay, so I believe you were about the same.
I get about 20.
You get about 20.
He's actually no. My perception is trained. That goes. It's 23.
23. So both of you glance up and see that there are 4 holes in the ceiling. Each hole is 1 foot in diameter and appears to stretch 6 feet into the ceiling.
Right.
Okay.
My guess is it's not going to be for a canopy.
Well, I'm also thinking the fact that is there any evidence of stairs or trapdoors leading downwards?
There is not. There is not even an exit out of this room from, if I look at it correctly. Besides the one you came in.
Yes.
Okay. Oh no, sorry, it does go to the hallway as well.
Okay.
Okay, we will.
And you can exit out to the other side. So it does. It's a walk-through room, so you can go to the consulting room on the other side.
Right. Is it worth doing
that? I will take a look up the holes to see if they happen to go, like, you mentioned they go about distance into the ceiling, so I presume they don't go all the way through. There's not open air or anything like that above.
Okay, so looking up, it's just like you're looking up into blackness.
Okay.
Okay.
There is no distinction after you get 6 feet up.
Right. Okay.
There's not even an end to it at 6 feet up.
Okay.
Right.
I'm not seeing an entrance to the catacombs underneath us though, so...
No.
But there's... Do we know... Have we seen any evidence of rooms above us or anything like that?
There are stairs above, out in the main chapel itself.
Yep.
Okay.
That
back in a sec.
Go to the loft.
Okay.
Because there is a loft above the chapel.
So, is Mr. Amber with us still? Is he wandering around, or has he just stayed in the library or whatever?
He's still going through books as if it's the most important thing in the world.
Okay. I'm not concerned too much then at that stage. What did the other door lead to from the library?
Sorry, just trying to fix my mic. We decided to break again.
Oh, that's no good.
Yeah, I bumped it with moving the camera, so I might have to unplug and replug in my mic. Okay, did that actually work? Let's see. No, it didn't work there. Let me try that again. It's one of those technical problems moments.
Understandable.
Okay, so apparently there is this perfect spot for it to sit, otherwise it does not actually record. So I have to be careful touching the cable.
Okay.
Or tape it in place.
I have a few cables that are a bit fiddly like that, yes.
It's because I knocked it off the stand I had it on.
Mm-hmm.
Which is not great for it. But you do get that. So past it, it leads into a consulting room, as well as into the hallway that goes around it all. So
Okay.
in the consulting room, you can see 10 chairs arranged in a semicircle around a desk, and the chairs in this otherwise. So the desk and the chairs are the main thing there. With each of the chairs has a skeletal figure dressed in cowled amber monk's robes, and a figure behind the desk. So there are 10 seated skeletal bodies and one apparent speaker, and none of them saying anything.
I would hope they're not saying anything. On the other hand, this is this place.
So this is what you can see from the reliquary storage.
Right.
On the other into the consultation room, as it's called.
Yes.
Are there other exits from this consultation room?
So the consultation.
Without going into it yet, just.
The consultation room goes into the same corridor that you've been going around.
Yep.
And goes south into apparently a bedroom.
Okay. And the skeletal figures have not reacted to our heads poking through the door at this stage?
Not at this stage, but then you are wearing the livery of Castle Amber.
Yep.
Yes, we actually get away with
at least some things, yes.
A lot of things will attack anything on site not wearing the livery.
Well, Penadier will cautiously enter the room, watching the figures around the table carefully to see if they do move. Is there anything on the table?
No, but you can see around the neck of the speaker a ornate silver key that's very similar to the one you were already found.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, yeah, because we got the key from the cats down in the library, didn't we?
You did.
Yeah.
Though the one thing you weren't clear on was how many keys did you need?
That's extra thought. There was a thing about us needing 2 keys for one thing, wasn't there?
Well, as Pettidier cautiously enters, stealthily, cautiously, do the skeletal figures react at all?
No, they do not react to you.
Okay. He will cautiously go down to the end of the room and have a look inside this bedroom or whatever.
Okay.
Yep.
So the bedchamber looks like it's a room for a priest, but a lavishly furnished one. A soft bed covered with plump pillows and plush bedclothes stand atop of a soft amber-coloured carpet. A rich carved wardrobe stands open in the corner, displaying a number of black silk robes and red satin vestments. Aside from the furnishings, the room appears to be empty. And you recognise this as the bedchamber of Simon Amber.
He's the guy in the that was helping his sister, like, that buried his sister.
No, that was not the same Amber, because there are so many Ambers to get you confused with. Simon Amber is the high priest of the family, which is means he's the most illegal member of the family.
Right. Oh, no, that's right, yes, because the guy that buried his sister was Charles Amber, that's right, sorry.
And Simon Amber would have been the one who would have been able to tell that he was not actually, she was not actually dead.
Right, and yeah, but we haven't actually met Simon yet, have we?
We have not met Simon yet.
Okay.
And you have realised you have walked around an entire section of it without actually
finding any evidence of a stairs down or anything like that.
Or into a section in the middle of all the rooms you've just gone through.
Oh, okay. So we've got there seems to be a space that hasn't been accessed. Is that what you mean?
Yep. Size of about 2 or 3 rooms, which is why it's not subtle.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's quite a large hidden area. Well, it's going to be a known area that just doesn't have a door.
Well, does this known area, does this void, looking in this bedroom I'm in right now, do one of the walls would one of the walls be adjacent to this void?
All of the rooms have a wall adjacent to that void.
Okay, well, since I'm here and realise that, hang on, there might be a space in the middle, I will have a look in the bedroom as the a likely access point to have a secret room.
So the room is like a 30 by 40 foot void, where most of the rooms were 20 by 30 foot. So it is a rather significant void.
That's the size of a flat.
I will see if I can look around on that wall to see if I can find evidence of a secret entry.
Okay, so using your hand, I will give you advantage on the roll.
Cool.
That's a nice thing, because I rolled a 2 on my first roll.
So Jeremy, knowing you probably found it on the first roll.
Well, that was 15 on the second, but so that gives a perception
Give
of...
your pluses over 10.
25.
There you go.
Okay, so
Who's 10?
yes, using your hands, you find a section that just moves with your hands. So it's a push secret door, no levers, no buttons, just requires weight. And you see a room with a golden altar standing in the northern wall, its surface gleaming in the light of 2 thick candles that rest upon it. A golden T-shaped icon or symbol stands atop of the altar. A broom rests in the corner of the room. Kneeling in prayer before the altar is a dark-haired man dressed in gilded plate armour and amber-coloured robes. A similar T-shaped object hangs from his neck, one made of amber. A staff is laid before him.
Okay.
And he stops his prayers and looks up at you rather coolly, saying, "May I help you?"
Okay.
And as he looks towards you, you feel the warmth of his gaze, as in it feels hot as he looks at you.
But he's not actually near me, is he?
No.
Serious fire aspect.
Right. Is Lowell actually in the room with me at the moment, or did he go through the
I believe
the skeletal figures? Or
I believe he's following with you because they didn't move with him.
No, they didn't move. There's no reason to fight. I'll follow you through.
Okay, that's right then. Because certainly my plan or my intent was, when I first came into the room, was, well, I might try and pick the key off the skeleton's neck on the way back.
Yeah.
And if you're already here, then I guess we can deal with our helpful new person.
Yes.
And I say, and especially since Lul's here, or Cluel's here, I should say, Penedy is happy to allow you to step forward and interact.
And do the talky things.
Okay, so for Jeremy's thing, that's what he looks like.
Very nice.
Right.
And so for
Yeah. So he's an evil vizier.
Well,
or maybe he's just got a lot of collar like that, and that's how it pushes his beard.
didn't we say that he was the family priest?
he was the family
Yes.
priest. He looks to be in his late 50s. His black hair has gone grey. His well-trimmed beard is shot with white. His dress and body are both immaculately groomed, and he possesses easygoing, slightly greasy smile.
Right.
There's a rich baritone that is soothing to the ear.
Right. So he's a commie.
Well, he might be a televangelist.
I think he's more the televangelist con man than the used car salesman con man. I'm not sure which one's worse.
Televangelist usually works on 100,000 people at once. A used car salesman works on one. Both of them can take you for whatever you own.
Okay, so he says again, what do you want?
While Penedy is looking through as Cluel takes the lead, in the room, was there any evidence of a passage downwards at all?
There is not, but you can see the markings of doors into other areas that you've been in.
Right.
Okay.
They're not so secret on this side.
No.
Not so secret on this side because
Okay, cool.
you normally expect it to be.
Yeah. So, but, yeah. So,
So, greetings, my lord. We are here to help resolve several problems around the environment.
He looks at you and says, "I see no problems except for interlopers."
Well, that is one of the problems we're attempting to fix, because at the moment there isn't really a way for us to get out. So
He says, "There's a way."
no stabbing, please.
No need to stab. God provides everything, he says.
Right, a method for us to walk out by to leave by walking out, rather than having to be pushed.
Why does walking have to go into the equator? He says. The equation. We could just remove you from the equation completely. Erase you as so we speak.
There is the circumstance at the moment that there are several other problems that are ongoing in and around the castle, and we have some good leads on helping fix them, so we're actually being useful to the family right at the moment. Do you wish to stop that?
The family's never been useful.
We're being useful to the family. Different consideration.
And what use to me are you? He said.
Well, it depends on what you need. Or want.
And what things to say as they are.
There are still some things that do need to be fixed around the place, though.
It's all as needed, he says.
So did you set this up this way? Or did you help do so?
It just suits my personality, he says, with a smile. So his smile comes out really creepy and leery sort of smile.
Yes. Yes. Hi, I'm a psycho, and I'm showing you this now. Well then, There's no reason for us to stay around then.
Well, I'm sure there are many reasons that you can stay around.
We'd prefer not to be used as sacrifices, I will make the slight point.
Did this gentleman introduce himself at all?
No, but he
I can
does
ask for his
look
name.
like the Simon Amberville that you saw pictures of.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out why this mic keeps shutting off.
Possibly power, possibly damaged USB cable. Yeah.
Um, 13 on religion, so I doubt that I'll actually have a proper understanding of the appropriate term for Simon, considering I don't necessarily know exactly what religion he goes with.
He's going to assume you're. He's going to assume you're going to get it wrong anyway. So.
Well, okay. I will use a phrase of whatever, Father Anvil, Father Simon, whatever terminology. Inquire. You're one of the members of the D'Amberville family?
Yes, I am, he says.
And you can call upon the powers of your Lord to help others?
Yes, I can.
So, are you aware of the malady that befell your sister? She is currently sleeping in one of the nearby rooms, having wakened from the nightmare of having believed to have been dead.
Being temporarily buried.
She'd been buried by her unwitting brother Charles.
He is a bit of an idiot, so not much you can do about that, he says.
Yeah, okay, but what about for...
Do you know anything about the burial, the reason for the burial, though?
What about
because
the
he
lady?
insisted she was dead.
So you went
Sure, she's definitely not dead, but she's obviously...
Well, she also wasn't awake either, so what did it matter, he said.
Well,
If
she's
she
currently
was
sleeping
alive,
peacefully.
She wasn't dead.
But if you could call upon the powers of your Lord to alleviate her suffering, the fright that she's gained by apparently waking in a tomb has appeared to have somewhat addled her senses.
She didn't have much senses to begin with, so I can't see how I can help.
Right.
He says it with such sarcasm that you're sure he doesn't really care much about the rest of his family.
I don't think.
Would you
he
know
cares
anything
very
about
much.
the I could use the term recent, very loosely, death of one of your other family members, Stephen D'Amberville?
Well, he deserved to die. He was an idiot. Dedicated to magic over everything else. Magic doesn't solve problems, it causes more problems.
Well, as the clergyman for the family, did you oversee his burial?
No, Stephen had made all the arrangements himself. I was not needed, as usual.
So it's a resentful psychopath.
Do you know where he was buried?
He was sent to the homeland as a fitting gesture for someone who left because they were going to kill us. He now goes back there in death.
And when you say homeland, are you referring to Glantry or Avignon?
To Silaire, he says.
Silaire? You kept hearing names of Avignon for a previous location. Okay.
It is in Sailor is in Avignon. It is one of the locations of that.
And this is all within the land of France.
It is all in the land of France.
Right. So at least we've got some references we can check on in the library.
In the map. Well, there's also the maps in the history room.
Yes.
I last saw them taking his body to the dungeon.
To the dungeon.
I understand that there may be access route to the dungeon or the catacombs here in the chapel.
There was, but it got closed over. It was not necessary. The only remaining entrance he knows of is in the foyer in the east wing.
The foyer of the east wing. Do you know where where it was originally accessible from within the chapel?
Not sure because they basically covered it with magic. You know, they didn't like a priest having access to their experiments.
Right.
Oh, so when they say the catacombs, they're not talking about the normal burial chambers for the family members.
It's where they put all their horror stuff.
Right. So, excitement. I'm going to look around the chapel with detect magic turned on.
Okay. So, he's quite magical. He's got quite a few enchantments overlapping each other.
Not surprised.
Including some form of enchantment.
Okay.
Well, you haven't really looked at any of the other family members with that sort of stuff. So,
Yeah.
and the enchantment over him is more powerful than any other item he's wearing.
Okay.
You also see same enchantment is over Dimitri Praedir, because wrong character.
Yes.
And you see it over a few items around the room, including the holy symbol and the broom.
It's a very eclectic mix of things to have that spell on. Do I know what the enchantment does? Can I make a Arcana check on what I'm seeing to
Sure.
determine what's there?
Give me an Arcana check.
19 on the dice.
Okay, looking at it, you recognize the styling of a broom of flying used to sweep the grounds.
As in there's a broom flying being used as a broom.
It's a magical broom that's also a broom.
Well, that's the thing. There are brooms of sweeping.
There are.
They're very cheap because they're low-end items. The broom of flying is a little less cheap.
It is.
But it might be an indication of the wealth of the Damervilles. They can afford to use a broom of flying as a broom.
And not actually
Yes.
flying
Yes.
it. And
Well, yeah. You've got a 4,000 GP magic item that's being used as a replacement for a 50 GP magic item, and they don't care because they're rich.
Well, no. It's not being used as a replacement for a 50 GP magic item. It's been used as a replacement for a 2 copper mundane item because
And a
it wouldn't
servant.
work nearly as well as a broom of sweeping to do sweeping. It'll only work as well as a mundane broom.
That's right.
okay, the
Unless you want to get up into the high spots to get the cobwebs.
That's true.
so the religious icon on the altar gives off divination magic.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so that's basically the big chunk of magic floating around the room. But besides a undertone of necromancy about the place.
Okay.
So
there's-
the air itself has a touch of necromancy.
Yeah. Given what's being done with time in this place, that can affect things as well. But nothing on any part of the chapel that stands out from any other.
Only the religious icon on the altar.
Yeah.
Sort of seeing has the equivalent of "you should touch me" sort of feeling to it.
Good reason not to.
I'm sure you'll be gaining the blessings of the Lord.
Yes. And he'll be gaining a soul.
So, I'm sure you'll give it willingly.
Eventually.
No, okay. The Pettidier will thank the pastor for his time,
Yep.
and explain that yes, apologies for disrupting your prayers. We shall.
He says,
attempt
so you should be, he says, in a rather direct way, cutting you off in the middle of your apology.
Let's leave the grump alone and leave.
We'll be on our way then. Thank you.
Yes.
The sooner you leave, the better it will all be, he says, as you walk out.
Yes, that's something we can all agree on.
And also, yeah, that's a bit ominous.
So, okay. Pettidier, as we're going back through Simon's bedroom,
Yep.
Pettidier will suggest that to Claw that okay, he move forward to the other exit from the skeletal room to the corridor.
Yep.
But wait at the door there. Pettidier is going to attempt to remove the key from around the skeleton's neck. So.
Okay, so I'll be ready to back you up.
That's what I mean. Like, so hopefully you can do it without. Hopefully the skeletons just skeleton things that won't move at all.
Yep.
Hopefully you can do it without being noticed if the skeletons are more than they seem.
As you step in the room, they seem to be sitting in a different position than when you left.
Right. Okay. So there's a fair chance they're more than they seem.
They're playing musical chairs.
Slowly. Without the music. And they've got the right number of chairs. They haven't really got the concept of the game yet.
Yeah. Well, it may be that they've got one less chair, because there's one standing up, I think. And they could use themselves as glockenspiels if you tune the ribs. Which is an interesting thought. I'm going to have to use that.
Yes. But okay, so assuming that there is still the one with the key round its neck.
Yep.
And that they are stationary when we actually enter. Yes. And they remain stationary when we enter. Cluel will go to the other door, and Pettidier will cautiously go up to the one with the key and see if he can surreptitiously remove it.
As you get closer to it, you realise this skeleton has 4 arms, 3 heads.
Someone's been experimenting.
And the chain goes around all 3 heads.
All 3 heads, okay. Well, that's possibly better than going around the middle one by itself.
That's very true.
It's not quite as good as he's randomly waving the key around on a single finger.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I will aim to come up to it, seemingly without being noticed at all, because obviously it doesn't do anything to apparently notice me, unless it does. But otherwise,
doesn't react to you.
I will assume that my stealth was successful, and attempt a sleight of hand to remove the key from around the whole chain and the key from around the neck.
You also gain advantage on this check because you're wearing the robes.
Mm-hmm. The robes
That's probably handy.
useful.
Oh, natural 20 with one of them.
Oh, bloody hell.
29.
You go to reach for the key and it just happens to fall into your hand.
Convenient.
I saw that.
Although I will, as I step back in a way, I will confirm that in fact there is still a key hanging around their necks, and there haven't been some kind of illusionary drop to throw me off the scent.
No, but you do notice that the chain that was around it was frayed and just happened to give way while you were reaching for it.
Oh, marvellous.
Just so.
So,
Convenience always seems to happen for you some days, doesn't it?
Well, it's just I'm that good.
And lucky.
And you still
Like
have
had nothing to do with the natural 20, surely.
you still have the reliquary storage, which has the holes in the roof.
Yep.
The strange holes. And then you can head out if you wish to at that point.
Okay.
So, well,
Wonder if it's worthwhile actually doing anything about those holes in the ceiling, because we could stick a light stone on a stick and poke it up there and see what's going on.
just do dancing lights and move them up there.
Yeah. If they don't have it.
What? You're a mage. What are you expecting?
He's not that type of mage.
Dancing lights is a druid spell.
Wizards can also do it.
Yeah, they can. I'm not a wizard.
He's not Harry, he's the well.
Oh, damn. When are we going to get a real wizard?
When you take wizard levels.
Because I'm not.
Well, I guess,
Warlock.
speaking of which,
It's time to take a wizard level?
well, possibly not time to take the wizard level, but time to cast light.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm pretty certain light still can be floated around, can't it?
Yeah.
It's not as well as...
Well, generally, you throw it on an item and just poke it places.
Yeah, light targets an item, so you can target at the end of a weapon, end of a stick, a stone, a coin.
Yeah, and I can do it anytime.
Yeah, well...
So we can find ourselves a good long stick. I'll put light on the end, and you can poke the stick up the hole.
Well, he's got his military fork that he can extend.
No, that's
extendable fork. That's to
quarter.
Oh, okay.
Different one again. All right.
4 characters that I sometimes get overlapped with.
Yeah. So no, actually, Penadier doesn't carry a long stick, except maybe off his robe. he could pull a 10-foot pole off his robe.
Let's not use that up. There are trees and bushes around about. We'll find something.
Well, this was the what was it, the reliquary or something, was it?
It was the reliquary storage, yes.
Yeah. Storage being the operative word there.
Mm-hmm.
Was there any long items? I know. A broom of flying. You picked it up, didn't you?
Yeah.
Did you pick it up?
If it was there.
He was in the corner, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, then you've got a broom of flying.
Or rather, a longish pole with a straw thing on the end, which you can put light at the other end.
And you see the words on the side say, speak my name and I will fly. And it's apparently calling itself Jim. Because everything's been translated with your magic.
I'll use the command word Jim.
But apparently you're not using it in the right language.
How tall is the, how high is the ceiling here?
Alright.
The ceiling here is, I'd say it's a 10-foot ceiling.
10-foot ceiling, and you said the holes were about a foot in diameter, didn't you?
Yep.
So, yeah, if we cast light at the end of the broomstick, and then just poke the broomstick up into a hole, we might be able to see better what's inside the holes.
That's true.
Like, it doesn't have to go up too high into the hole, it's just... But you're fairly tall too, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, just yes, because presumably, assuming the stick is about 5 foot long, Penadier could, he could reach the roof, the ceiling, but not much more. You can only poke it a few inches up into the hole, but you might be able to get it a foot or so.
Okay, so as you poke it up,
Something eats the end off.
no.
Oh, good.
Something drops down between you and goes crunch, and you see 6 medium-sized bees. Well, actually, you see 11 bees in total pop out.
Bees.
Yeah, and each bee is almost your size.
Oh, so bees with a capital B.
Yeah,
Buzzing type bees.
yeah. And it's not really bad to look up a section that's titled Killer Bees. So don't worry about that too much. That's not that important right now.
Well, first things first. See if they can be talked to and persuaded.
And you realise that you just knocked out their nest.
Okay.
So a bit hard.
My first instinct would be say, move away,
So
preferably somewhere about the east wing.
it will be a. Actually, they're tiny. So they're tiny and a small one and another group of tiny ones. So
Right.
so
they're very
size.
big bees,
They're
but
big.
not quite big enough.
Like, well, tiny is the size of a kitten.
Yes, that's right. Very, very big bees.
Yes, but not as big as us.
So we're talking initiative, was it?
You get to make an initiative roll to see how well you stack up against a bunch of bees.
Excitement.
Now that you've got a broom to sweep them up with.
Initiative 16 for Pettidier.
16.
With that. 17.
Okay. So, considering I think the bees got the jump on you, you were surprised by them coming down.
Yes.
As the soldiers go to defend the nest. 2 of them fly at each of you.
Marvellous.
Okay, so the first one goes for Llewell, and he only gets 1 attack. With an entire armor class of 9.
No.
So he flies past you.
And that was on an extra 20, wasn't it?
Well, talking about natural 20s, next one came across was a 15. Does a 15 hit you?
No. Seeing I'm using a shield.
So your shield manages to bump it off to the side.
Yes.
And then the other 2 will fly at Payadir. First one gets a 24.
That'll hit.
Dealing 1 piercing damage as it sticks you. So now you get to make a Constitution saving throw. And considering this is a duration thing, you might be stuck with poison for a while if you fail.
It's a poison save.
Yeah.
Thanks to the cursed armband on me, I'm immune to poison.
In which case, then you're lucky.
I take 1 point of damage.
You take 1 point of damage. And then it is the Queen's turn.
The other one missed me.
The first. Alright, sorry, the second one. Second one, yes, missed you. Unless your armor class is 9.
Not quite. And the Queen.
And the Queen comes in and attacks
all of us.
Llewell only gets 1 attack.
Just he's the one with the broom.
He's one of the broom and hits armor class 20.
That'll hit me.
Okay, so she does a bigger swack when she pierces you. She does 4 points of piercing damage. As she stings you, then you get to make a Constitution saving throw against poison.
Yes, which I don't get advantage of for anything. 16, is that useful?
16 is useful.
Oh, good.
It's not as useful as,
Is it
say,
useful
18
for
would
this
be.
right now?
You don't know until you say you're happy with it.
Use it.
Okay, so yes, apparently the killer bee is not as bad as you thought it was. And then the normal ones get to attack.
Although, actually, here's the thing. I'm presuming they're actually acting like wasps.
Yeah.
Or native bees,
So
i.e. they're going to get more than 1 sting.
They're going to get
Yes.
more than 1 sting on
They
it. Well,
don't get rid of
these
the
last
stinger
ones
when
may
they
not.
Yes.
I'd expect the soldiers and the queen can probably sting multiple times, but these ones might not be able to,
Yes.
if we're lucky.
I found out why they pull those stings out. It's not for anything. It's because the shape of the sting, particularly the serrations on the sides of it, are actually designed for a different target. When you stick it in human skin,
It gets stuck.
the friction is so high. The only way the bee can get away is basically kill itself.
Rip part of it away, and that kills it.
Yes.
Okay, so three of them come full well.
Which means if it stung you in the eyeball, it would be fine.
So second one gets you on a natural, not a natural 20, on a
It's over 17.
attack of 20.
Yeah.
And he does 1 point of piercing damage and a Constitution saving throw.
Oh. Whatever it happens.
How high? 1.
I didn't get to 10 even with my bonus.
Okay, you get to 10 even with your bonus. The DC was 10.
Didn't get
So you also gain 11 points of poison damage,
Ouch.
Yeah.
and you are now considered poisoned.
I'd stop being stung by them if I was you.
So a poison
Yeah, that'd be
creature
favourite.
has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks,
Ouch.
and you are poisoned. So then the third one attacks you, and hits armor class of 12, so misses.
Yes.
Then 3 attack prey deer. First one gets a 23,
That'll hit.
doing 1 point of damage.
Okay.
Then the second one attacks prey deer, getting a 16.
That'll miss.
And the last one attacks you, getting less.
Okay.
Okay, so now that they got through their 23, 18, and 18 initiatives, we're up to 12.
Oh, so they weren't even acting all on the same initiative. They all got beat. They all beat us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Llewellyn is next on the 17. 17 was a nice roll.
Yeah.
You'll be pleased to know, Paul,
Yeah.
that with Pedadir's extensive clerical powers,
Yeah.
he can do a ritual to detect that you're poisoned.
Excitement. We'll just tell the beast to hold off for 10 minutes so you can do the ritual.
And don't worry, when an hour passes here, you'll be no longer poisoned.
Yeah. No.
No. Okay. I didn't say I could do anything about it. I said 10 minutes. I can detect the poison.
I know. The thing is,
But well,
it
might take a bit longer than that because I'll assume it's not poisonous because hey, I got stung a couple of times and didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah. That's not how that works.
But yes,
The problem,
you're up.
the
What are
problem,
we
of
up
course,
for?
the problem, of course, is as stated, it's going to last a minute. How long is a minute going to last here?
No more than forever.
Yes, and I'll have disadvantage the entire time. What fun!
Unless, of course, you go have one of the meals somewhere. I'm sure that will help.
And I'm sure that Simon, with his extensive clerical powers, will be willing to help.
No.
I'm sure he has a whole person to make it easier for the bees. That's helping, isn't it?
It's helping someone.
That's helping his sense of humour, certainly. Not particularly useful for us in this other circumstance.
So, what would the world like to do?
Panic. I mean, no. I do not have anything anti-poison as far
How
as
much damage have you had so far?
You've got a broomstick in your hand.
that doesn't necessarily work against poison.
Well, no, I'm more worried about getting bees right now.
Oh, it works against bees.
Okay. I'd be concerned. The poison probably won't kill you here until you get stung half a dozen times and they're each doing 11 points of poison damage.
Yes.
Well, it's 2d6, so I almost rolled maximum.
Yes, my roll was rather lower. Now, do we have anything in our present listies? I don't think.
So, I mean, the poison isn't going to do anything to you immediately. aside from making it hard for you to hit things.
That's basically all it does, is reduce your ability to make checks.
Yeah, and it works on basically everything, which includes attempting to finish them off with a broom. Or, well, really, almost anything else. How many of them are there left?
There are 11.
Okay, there's the four soldiers, the queen, and 6 standards. So remember, we haven't acted yet. You're only just about to act.
I know.
And this is right after you just shoved a broom up and going, stab, drop, crap.
Just thinking of what I don't have anything that actually has real AoE.
Fireball always helps. I'm sure there's nothing wrong with it.
Don't have fireball. Not on my list.
Well, I'm sure if you... Well, hey, with any luck, one of the 6 might already be dying, because they can only sting once, if you're lucky.
I'll give you a free perception roll. They still got their stinger.
Unfortunately, Pettivier is somewhat more knowledgeable in nature than that to know that, yep.
It's acting like a wasp. There are bees that do this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't get stung because it'll bloody do it again.
Well, I mean, like face it, even if these bees at their normal size might normally only be able to sting once on a human, now they're a bit bigger. They can tear your skin out instead of actually just leaving it behind.
Instead of the friction pulling the sting out.
That's why you took a point of damage.
Yes. Bloody hell. Okay.
I was actually reading it again, so it looks like you got hit 3 times?
Twice?
Twice.
No, what? Yeah. No, I think it was 3, and I saved.
Oh, because you got hit by the queen once as well, didn't you?
Yeah.
You got a soldier, a queen, and a standard.
Yeah, as I said, I got hit by 3, but I saved against 2 of them.
Whereas I got hit by a soldier and a standard.
Yeah. My best bet at this point is actually using Eldritch Blast.
Seems fair.
So, actually, reading it closely, the ones that hit you no longer have their stingers.
They are standard bees.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it was in the fine text right after a successful sting.
Right. It's not going to do it anymore.
It has 1 turn left.
Yeah.
1 turn is in 10 minutes.
One turn, as in it dies on
1
its
round.
next turn.
Yeah.
But they call it turns.
Yeah.
Because that's what they used to. Yeah. It still means that they've got 11 chances to do us the nasty. As a total. There's also nothing wrong with them attempting to bite, although I don't see that doing much damage. Now, Eldritchy Blasty.
You can tell the queen from the others because she's the biggest of them.
Right.
And she stung without actually losing her stinger.
Yeah. As befits a special one that's rather larger. Okay. This is going to be painful because I'm working at disadvantage. Because I'm poisoned. But 3 Eldritch Blasts. And
You can get off 3 because you can do
Yes.
Okay.
7th level, which is what I'm now.
Mhm.
I get access to 3 Eldritch Blasts at a
That's
time.
cool.
Yes.
So there's
So I will.
2 soldiers who don't have them. There are their stingers. There are 2 of the normal bees who don't have the stingers, and then there's the queen.
Okay, so all the ones with stingers are stung.
All the ones that have lost their stingers have basically are out of the fight.
Yeah. The only thing you could probably do at this point is charge through us or something.
Well, but remember, they're still only tiny sized.
Yes. Yes. I didn't say it was going to be useful. It's that's what they do.
They can provide a distraction.
That's right.
they'll provide advantage for their friends by getting flanking.
Yes. So what's happened to me now? I have 5 stingless bees flying in my face, and one of them is trying to climb up my nose.
Yep. So what are you doing?
I'm going to hit
Last
the
thing?
queen
Okay.
3 times, or attempt 3 times.
Well, you don't have to declare them until after each one, I believe, because if it's giving you 3, or you're doing 3 at once.
Well, I do it and I get 3 blasts. I can pick one target or pick multiple.
Okay.
So it's much of a muchness.
Okay.
And I'm doing this and that, and my charisma modifier for 3 beams. And I'm doing knockback with this as well. So each hit, she's going to be going back 10 feet. Not that it matters too much because she can fly. Now, these are all at disadvantage, correct?
Yeah, they're all at disadvantage.
Which is going to be a bastard because it was 16. And yeah, that's not going to hit.
What was it, though?
3 on the dice. I'll give you the total though.
So they still hit.
Yeah, that goes to 12. I don't think so.
You're one
What?
off.
I have to get. Wow. All right, cool. So he's
The
hoping
queen's
for.
easy to hit.
So her armor class is basically her size, really. 1 point better on the roll, which means I actually hit.
Yes. He does.
Except it's a disadvantage. So. Oh no. Well, that was a better roll, so it's the same
Okay.
thing. So that's 10 points total damage,
And then we have the next one.
and then we have the third one. Suck having this on disadvantage.
Was it a 1?
That's a 20,
20.
but that's a 7, so that's a hit. 11 points.
Okay, so you fire 3 times. She dodges the first one just ever so slightly, and then basically swack with both of the other ones, and she's this poof of bee fur and wings spinning away from it as you hit it with your Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
And you see all the bees just look at you.
I look innocent.
Okay, so Jeremy, you're up. None of the bees are paying you any attention now whatsoever.
I'm a
Okay.
distraction.
And I'm guessing that they're all within then 5 feet of Lure.
They are, and you as well. So
No, that's
they
fine.
are tiny creatures.
Yes, that's fine. It was more the idea of that. Yes, I will be attacking them then with my trusty old short sword,
Yep.
the wooden one,
Yes.
not the Makakul.
Okay. Yeah, they're tiny. I think that's small enough to actually share space with an average-sized creature.
11 to hit.
11 to hit. 11 does not hit. I'm afraid.
Bugger.
They're a touch harder than that, but not by much.
Oh,
Actually, there's the thing.
just to hit.
Well, there's the thing. If you were flanking, that would have worked. Might have worked.
Well, flanking in 15 gives potentially advantage, doesn't it?
Exactly. Which means you get through all the
I mean, to me, it was more the idea that it means that I can get, I can use my sneak attack damage
Yes.
because you're within 5 feet. Doesn't necessarily actually need to have a thinking, but I'm guessing I don't technically have advantage on the attack roll.
Technically, I'll give you yes advantage.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
because they're not
you-
paying attention to me at all because someone gained their
because they're-
attention.
Yes, and they're between you and me, or some of them are. So you've got advantage,
In
plus
which-
you get to use sneak attack.
In which case, then 18 to hit.
That's definitely a hit.
18 is definitely a hit.
Okay,
Do
then
your sneak attackies. It's probably going to
Yeah.
it's probably going to explode it.
I think that's probably going to be overkill for it. Yes.
Well, not explode, pop.
2, 6, 12, 13, 17 piercing damage.
Okay, so you've now got a bee on your sword as it goes right through and out the other side. It flew right into your blade, apparently.
Fair enough then.
It lined itself up and you spitted it.
Yep. And actually, I will claw my little dagger as well.
Mhm.
Okay.
So then I can get a bonus action for stabbing you 2 times.
Okay, so your bonus action, you go.
I know, I'll be clawing and I won't get a bonus action this time, but
So your bonus action.
it's something like action. Hang on, yep, we're going to get through. We've got lots of creatures that we're not really designed to actually take off more than one at a time. But if I can hit twice, then it'll probably take out 2.
So we've had 3 of the soldiers down now, and 2 of the other ones. Okay, so noting down that Llewellyn is poisoned, so I don't forget.
Yep.
Okay, so we now have 1 soldier attacking Llewellyn
Mm-hmm.
with a 22.
That is going to hit.
Okay, he does 1 piercing damage. Then you get to make a Constitution saving throw.
Again.
But a saving throw is not at disadvantage because poison doesn't affect saving throws. It affects because it's not an ability check, I believe.
No, it's not.
You know,
It's a
you
saving
really
throw.
should have let the guy immune to poison deal with the queen.
I wasn't given much of a choice.
Yeah, you could have held off for a moment, let me attack first.
I also forgot you're immune to poison.
Well,
Yes. I got 16, so this should be a pass.
You're good. And then the 4 other bees attack you.
How wonderful.
And miss. Followed by a 19.
That's a hit.
1 more point of damage. And another Constitution saving throw.
Oh, God. 14.
You survived that one. But it does mean that the soldiers are all down, and we've got 2 more of the bees left. Natural 20. So you take 2 points of damage,
Ow.
and then you make a
Con save.
con save.
15 on the dice, so yeah.
Okay. And down to 2 flying ones, but the last one attacking. And you got a 20. Not a natural 20, a 15 plus 5.
Yes.
So that is
Yes, I've-
1 point of damage and the last con save.
Yes, I've heard dirty 20 used for that one. 11, so no. So what's it do? Extend it?
No. With an 11, you pass the saving throw on the base speed.
Oh,
The
Oh.
soldiers have stronger poison
right,
than the base
okay.
speed, and the
Right.
queen has stronger poison than the soldiers.
cool.
And now you get to go. There is only 1 active bee left.
Right.
They've all got their stingers in you.
Yes, I am covered in stingers.
I mean, it's fair enough they went for you. I mean, you're the one that knocked the nest down.
What? You're the one that hauled me to the broom and said, "Here, I'm innocent." That was you that did that, wasn't it?
What?
Handed me the broom and said, "Here, I'm innocent."
Well, no, I said, here, I'm short.
Yeah. No. No, Eldritch Blast.
Mm-hmm.
Still at disadvantage, but whatever.
We got 3 blasts going.
That's right. Oh, damn, it's cocked. Not much better. 16, that was a hit.
That is a hit.
Good. So 7 from that.
Mm-hmm.
Such a nice roll. Total 21. I think that's
That's a
it.
hit. It is a hit.
Yep. So another brain hurts. Another 11 points.
So that takes it up to 18 points all up. You said 7 on
Yeah.
the first one.
Yep.
And what happened to the third attack?
If it's still there,
Well, technically all the attacks are happening simultaneously.
that's true. Damn it. Oh. I rolled a 17 and a 19 on this one, so yeah, I hit it.
Mm-hmm.
11 points for that one as well.
So when you actually saw the wings go flying when you hit the queen, there's no wings left on this one. There's just dust.
Just poof.
Yeah. Just like pixie dust. Blink.
Yes, and considering that's what my spells look like, these pixie dust and flower petals, there's this lovely pixie dust and flower petals, and this bee goes poof. I'm subtle, I can tell.
So, did you want to poke your broom up another hole?
Bugger off.
Were you sure that Prady could actually reach?
Probably
The
could.
big room.
Yes, I know, but if he's going to do that, I'm sending a fuck over there.
Yeah. he
Well,
didn't
it's
room.
not, hey, Benedy's not all that concerned about the holes the first time round.
Let's ignore the holes and leave my broom where it is.
So,
I'm going to get all the bloody stingers out.
I was going to say, we will pause for a moment to see if you can remove big. Do you want Benedy's help to remove stingers?
He's
It'd be
practiced
no-
at it.
It'd be nice. A couple of them are in unpleasant places.
So, well, Penedier will attempt to remove the stingers with his quality medicine check untrained.
What's your medicine act?
Oh, no problem.
Natural 20.
Wasted another natural 20 for the night.
Okay, so
So that gets to 24.
so while Prady is telling you about how he's not really trained in this and how you should probably do it yourself, but
Three of them basically go plunk, plunk, plunk on the floor as he's talking.
so but by the time he's finished actually telling you this, you realise you're taking all the stings out.
Faraday. Faraday.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah, all done.
Yeah.
That's it.
While you were telling me you were incapable.
I didn't say I was incapable, just that, hey, there were better people, because, hey, I've had to do this occasionally, but it's not like sort of thing that normally we've got other tribes folks that'll actually alleviate the pain.
That's true. Yes, we did have a real cleric in the party at one point.
You still have a real cleric in the party. He's outside holding the door.
That's true. He's not in the party, he's near the party.
But he's the camp follower.
You're one of the
There's
longer
too many
members of
weird
the
ass connotations
companions.
to actually use. Pardon?
You're one of the longest serving members or companions.
He's a companion. He's more likely to give you a hug than a heal.
But the hugs always make you feel better.
That's true. But when you're in combat, you don't want someone sitting over there, 30 feet away, doing nothing, while you could do with a heal. And hugging in combat is not conducive to useful combat.
That's his own form of combat too.
Yeah, but he's got a qualification in wrestling.
And the muscles to back it up.
Exactly.
Okay, so
So how is Lowell actually feeling at the moment?
how much damage do you actually have at the moment?
I'm actually pretty good on actual damage because I didn't take any big damage.
Well, I thought the poisons were solid, but you only took one of them, didn't you?
Two.
Two, okay. Oh, but the second one might not have been quite as damaging because it was not
Well-
the near maximum.
Well, the poison was rolled damage. I got low rolls for both of them, but the activity penalty is going to remain.
Yes. I'm just thinking restoration doesn't affect that effect, does it?
No, this would actually need anti-poison. If it were permanent damage, then yes.
Yeah.
Restoration has changed around, so.
I know, but I've looked at it recently.
Is it greater restoration that does it?
I'm like 8 points down on 52, so I'm actually not badly off right now.
Because just that Pettideer has still got a one lesser restoration available from that Charm of Restoration that we got given quite some time ago that either provided 1 restoration or 3 lesser restorations.
Lesser restoration gets rid of the poison condition.
Oh.
So it gets one. You touch a creature and end either 1 disease or 1 condition afflicting it. The conditions can be blinded, deafened, paralyzed, or poisoned.
Cool. I do that on myself.
Okay.
Have you got restoration yourself? Have you?
Yes.
Or
Lesser
restoration?
Lesser restoration.
Okay. Do you need? Can you do it effectively by yourself while you're poisoned?
There's no cast. There's no.
No casting check for it. Okay.
Roll. It's just a spell cast.
So yes, you restore yourself and you're no longer poisoned.
Happy me.
Well, that's where looking at the spell and confirming it
is very useful. Yes.
I was going to look at the spell up, and it didn't actually appear in the player's handbook of restoration, so I didn't know.
It's lesser restoration.
It's less.
Yeah, oh, it's okay. They're specifically lesser rather than.
It is specifically lesser.
And there is greater and lesser, but no actual restoration.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, that explains it then.
Yeah, you've only got the 2. Yes.
Yeah. Hey. Yep. That sounds good. So.
What they should have done is just made greater a heightened version of lesser, so it made more sense.
Yeah, except it's actually a heightened version of lesser and some extra bits.
Yes, but you get the extra bits at heightened levels. They can just put it into a little thing and say extra bits.
Well, they could
have just called it restoration and provided a
well
standard or heightened. So,
well, one way of doing that, they've done this with other systems, is rather than having 2 restorations, you've got restoration, which has different extra effects depending on what spell level you cast it at.
That's the effect of the heightened.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but doing that with a lot of spells would actually be useful.
Yep. That was what I was hoping they were going to do. They did it in some places, but not everywhere. At least they don't have the cure wounds chain anymore.
Yeah.
Because that was painful.
Yes.
Okay, so you have now managed to survive the killer bee nest.
One of them.
Well, who knows what's up the other 3 holes? That's the whole mystery of a horrific place that does terrible things to you.
Yes.
And rewards you for some things and punishes you for others.
Pettideer comes back to the statement of
sometimes at the same time.
What he's confident is not up the holes is a way down to the dungeon.
Yes. Unless somewhere up there is a key.
So you want to see if you think there might be something more up there worth checking for?
Yeah. Actually, there's another thing too. Why would there be holes in the ceiling in this room? What's it for?
To house their beehives.
It doesn't sound entirely plausible.
So they can make honey.
Maybe the whole room is a lift.
And the holes are the buttons.
Oh, that's just bad.
You're at the B level.
Well, that would explain then why what the entrance to there was a dungeon entrance in the chapel. If this room went up and down.
Yes.
Or if you touch the right button, up becomes down, down becomes up. I just did watch Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes.
3, so that was in there.
So. Well, did you want to investigate the other 3 holes?
I'm sure your conscience is saying, yes, we want to investigate these holes. Oh, the holes.
I'm thinking it might actually be useful, except it's also likely to be dangerous.
Well, Penedier will stand back with his bow ready to shoot at anything that's coming out, falling out.
Right. So let's hope I don't get poisoned again.
I'm sure you won't get poisoned.
He says,
Well, if you do, we know how to fix it now.
he says looking at something that has an entirely different special effect.
Well, that's still not poison.
I know.
And I say, personally, poison's good. If we know you can cast lesser restoration, then.
Yeah.
Hey, Lesser Restoration is a fantastic get you out of jail free spell. It combines so many of the older D&D spells.
Yes.
Just by itself.
Yep. Yes.
So, you want to poke one of the other holes?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Penedier's got his arrow knocked and drawn, and he's ready to stab at shoot at anything coming out of the hole that's not the end of the broomstick.
Yes. Well, I'm going to poke the broomstick up until it stops, and then I'm going to pull it out and move well away from the hole.
Okay. As you push it up, there's this torrent of water coming down on you. So, Jeremy, attack roll on the water.
Yep.
Because you called it.
Yep. I think I hit the water.
You were on at least a 10.
Well, yes, 17 on the die, so that's a 24.
Okay, you hit that water quite well as it goes straight through and into the wall on the other side with a bang. As Penedier is standing there with the broom pointed up. With
Luel's pointing up.
Yeah, so Luel is pointing up with the water completely soaked in water. And it is water.
Does it stop?
Yeah. It's basically drench.
The good news is...
And the amusing thing is he got to hit it in that small time it was actually falling with an arrow straight through the middle of it.
Nice.
The good news is it wasn't acid.
Thanks for reminding me. On the other hand, now I'm clean, so I feel better.
And it was
Yeah, you wanted a shower, didn't you?
Pardon?
You wanted a shower?
Not anymore.
So, you want to try one of the remaining holes?
Again.
Well, you've had bees and water.
Again. Penedier's going to be ready with another knocked arrow.
Again, poke, step away. Hopefully not get drenched while I'm doing it.
Well, you realise as you're, poking up that by the time you encountered something, it fell before you could feel the resistance. So, poke!
So,
And coin falls into your hand, and then coin just deluges on top of you. So, as you're pulling back, you're feeling them all hit your hands and the broom, and ting 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 ting.
One of them gets knocked aside by the arrow.
I would honestly say you probably hit about 10 coming down.
Yeah, but only one of them actually got knocked aside. All the rest hit him.
One of them is now stuck on the end of your arrow tip.
As you think 1,000 coins fell.
And I look at them, they're all copper, aren't they?
No, they're all gold.
And as far as Penedier's
that's
concerned...
basically his reaction. He's going to look at it, inhale, and just stand there
You've
looking
had a shower in gold.
As far as Penedier's concerned, they're all yours.
Yes.
Assuming...
You can carry them?
Assuming they stay gold.
Well, no. I was just checking the... I have a wisdom save to resist the chance to increase wealth, although considering the metal type stuff, I suspect I'll probably get advantage on the roll.
Yep.
Yes, I don't. And I've got the same problem.
And another natural 20 just wasted. To not collect gold.
Hey, look at it this way, Jeremy. You're rolling 20s. There are times when you go, just give me 120.
But the problem is, I'm rolling 20s when they're not very useful right now. So therefore, they won't be available when they do want them.
If you had failed, you would have fought me for this money. That would
As
have
I said, like the point he says, I rolled a natural 20 to avoid getting rich.
Yes.
So yes, you now start gathering up the 1,000 coins.
I do.
Don't worry, it doesn't take any time at all. And lots of time, but no real time has passed.
I'm not going to perceive any time.
Just put them all into your little baggie. I'm sure that baggie's fine.
Yes. Actually, it's probably safer in there than anywhere else. And anything trying to find those coins, turn them back into copper or something like that, it's going to find him resisting it.
Okay, so you scoop them all into your bag. He's more than happy to eat them, but he wants to eat them one at a time. And
Savour the taste.
Savour them once they're in there. We don't have time.
He says, it sort of just gives that look at you and saying, "You've got time." So it makes you feed it one at a time. So 1,000 different coins going in there.
Pop, 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 pop.
He doesn't open his mouth.
Wait till it opens.
Yeah. So yes, it takes you a while, but the bag's happy.
It's as bad as being a RuneQuest shaman and having to make friends and be friendly the right way with all of the spirits that are connected to you.
Don't worry, Jeremy's got that right now.
Yeah,
I was going to say, I know how I can make Lul speed up his collection.
Yeah. Glue them
Then
together.
it is just going to be standing aside, watching and taking a look around, make certain nothing else comes in the room or anything like that. And when Lul moves over in his collection to the underneath the next hole,
Yes.
I'll shoot an arrow up into it. That should distract him, whatever falls out.
Okay, so you're about 20% of the way through, so you got about 200 coins. So Jeremy, I'm going to the C section. What do you think's in the C section?
C section.
In the monster manual. Don't say
Crocodiles.
Well, it's got some of the same letters as a small hairless chicken drops out of the ceiling.
Well, hopefully it's a spiked hairless chicken now that it's got an arrow through it.
No, but it is its nest is falling all around it.
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to
Heads
give
up.
everyone a initiative roll as you release the cockatrice.
Yes. Well, the moment I heard hairless chicken, I went, it's time to fight blind. Suck.
23 for initiative.
23 for Prayer Deer. So apparently you really do want to go quite fast in this one.
Yes. And 8.
And apparently you're trying to give it a fighting chance, I see.
Well, he's still collecting coins.
Yes.
As eggs start falling around you. So, Prayer Deer, you see this hairless chicken come flying down, using its wings as a glide. So you get an attack while it's coming down.
I will take another shot then.
So it doesn't get its dex bonus to its armor class because it's using it to slow its fall.
Yes.
AC 19.
You hit him quite soundly.
Okay. And do I technically have advantage because it hadn't actually acted yet?
You do because it was surprised.
Okay,
Someone
so
broke its nest.
well,
So-
I'll make sure that I get another 20, but no, that's all right.
But you've got your...
It does mean I get the sneak attack. So,
Yes.
and 2d4. 7, 10, 16, 20 hit points of damage.
20 is
So,
a nice
piercing
number.
arrow.
So your arrow lodges soundly in it this time,
Okay.
instead of just its nest.
Chomp,
And-
squawk, Luel goes, what?
It squawks and lands on Luel. So Luel's up next.
So I'm being wrestled by a bald stoning chicken.
And you've been hit by eggs as well.
Eggs.
Yeah.
Hopefully you
It's
caught
gonna
the
be-
eggs, because then I'm sure they'll be valuable.
Well, they all broke.
I discovered that there were eggs when they impacted on me. It's a little hard.
I gave you a heads up
Yeah,
after things started falling.
I'm still feeding coins to my bag. Because it sucks.
Really
Or in fact,
really does like
doesn't
it.
suck.
It sucks them slowly. You just watch the coin go in so
Yes.
slowly.
My bag does not suck, it slurps. And that was the problem.
And it makes
then
happy noises.
And then I got hit by a chicken.
A flying chicken.
Plummeting chicken.
It just flew down.
Yeah. Don't so much fly as plummet. As the
A controlled
joke-
plummet.
As the joke goes.
So what would Llewellyn like to do? You going to continue feeding coins?
No. I can feed it to the bird.
Feed coin to the bird, I'm sure that will work. Give me a history roll.
To determine
I'll
what
give it
this
to you
is.
as a bonus action.
Even better. 15.
You do recognize the cockatrice for what it is. The thing you know is you don't want to be bitten by it because it will magically turn you to stone for 24 hours if it bites you.
Right, so no picking.
So, and it seems to be focused on the archer right now.
Don't get picked.
So you can play dead and it might just run after the archer.
That's true.
He's got his magic thing that protects him against P things, doesn't it?
I'm not sure actually what that actually does, and I'm not going to ask him right now. It would be bad.
I'm sure petrification works the same as poison, doesn't it?
No.
I mean,
Right.
it's not like Pettidier can tell you much about it. It's stuck to his arm. He can't get it off.
It's a curse item.
It's
Yeah.
a cursed item.
Oh dear.
So some curses aren't bad.
Yes. Some curses are just annoying. I can't take it off, but I can stop being attuned to it. Wonderful.
No, he can't stop being attuned to it. Once you've been cursed by it, you're automatically
Okay.
attuned, and that takes up a slot from then on.
Yes. So that's a bad thing.
And if it auto attunes to you, it kicks off one of your items at random.
Yeah. Okay. I stretch out my rod and
Poke it.
Eldritch blast it in the back of the head
Oh,
or the beak.
I'll give you advantage because it doesn't quite realise you're there. You're the soft thing it landed on.
Okay. Oh, because it saw him
Yeah.
because he shot at it.
Yeah. And his arrow broke its nest. And it's so basically, if you hadn't removed, it
So
would
it's
have ignored
really
you.
pissed.
And focused.
Yeah. 23 for the first one.
Well, considering they all happen at the same time, you get to roll all
Sorry,
of them.
24. Yes. 12 points. 22.
It's also a hit.
Yeah. For 8. So it's total 20 so far. And 20 on the die.
So crit hit.
Now crit's max, isn't it?
Double.
Double. 22.
22. Okay.
So 42 all up.
42 damage. Okay, so you go. Pew! And you go. Poof. So Jeremy is covered in dust.
No, it's specifically covered in dust because this has 10-foot awareness.
I know, that's what I said.
Boom!
Jeremy, so Prairie Deer is covered in cockatrice dust. As
And-
not a piece of it is left.
And gobbits.
No, not even gobbets. You
You
basically
shattered.
you did enough to take it from the remaining hit points to negative its full hit points.
I gibbed it.
Okay. Pettidier had heard it the first time round, so
So it was the equivalent of a disintegration effect.
Yeah.
the but yeah, Pettidier after brush the dust off says, "So, are we ready to go yet?"
Almost
Yes.
there. Give me a
Hold on.
minute.
Hold on. Okay, I'm going to stuff my pockets with coins and put them into the bag as we go.
So your bag might have a complex. It might be one coin. Because it's now used to you feeding it on coins on a regular basis.
Mm. So it's lucky you've got a supply in your pockets to feed him as you go along.
Look, I'll keep feeding you these forever as long as you give them back a few at a time.
It looks at you with the shock horror. Give back.
They're mine! Mine!
Tasty
My
coin.
coins!
My bag.
My coin.
My
Tasty coin.
food!
Next thing I'm learning a spell, it's going to be frickin' disenchant. My fucking coin back.
It slowly spits one coin out with this unhappy sort of sound.
I polished the coin and put it back in.
No. Okay. The coin is covered in goop. You're not entirely certain what you'd put in there to give it goop.
Yeah. First thing I'm going to do is polish it with the powder on the floor. The remains of the bird. Polish it up with that. Here, see what this tastes like.
Tasty coin.
See? This is what happens when you give them back and they do things for you.
Bloody hell.
What did you...
Another
what was
natural
that
20?
dump for?
I just wasted another bloody natural 20
Ah.
doing a random nature check to see, oh, well, I wonder if the eggs of a cockatrice would be interesting and valuable. And when there were any still left.
Looking around, you see them all crushed on Llewellyn's back.
The answer is yes and no. So,
Yes, that they can be raised as attack animals.
yes, and guardian animals.
Yeah. But of course, okay, the real problem, Martin,
Yep.
is the fact that, yes, all the natural 20s tonight won't impact on tonight. It'll be tomorrow night when I can't roll above 5.
Quite possibly. When you are the hero.
Yes. Go use the GM's rerolls.
Okay, so as you've managed to explore all the holes, dealt with the killer bees and the cockatrice, gained the coins and the water.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah. Next time we should do the water before the dust. Or after the dust, I should
After
say.
the dust. I was just
Well,
thinking that.
It's nice and sludgy on the ground at the moment.
No, it's the fact I've got eggs all down my back.
Well, it's also the water and the cockatrice dust have sort of mixed.
Yes.
Looks has a look of cement to you. Okay, so where to now? You think?
What's available?
Well, I believe there was some. When we saw the map of the chapel, there were some rooms to the sides.
You were told that they were basically basic priest quarters, and no one goes there.
Oh, okay, right.
So they're basically where they send the acolytes.
And that they're empty.
They didn't say they were empty. They just said no one goes there.
Right.
There could be a reason no one goes there.
Okay. So, well, if you don't want to go that way, then I think there were also some upstairs in this chapel, but I believe our main goal is downstairs.
Yep.
Which means going back through the central garden to find the east wing.
How much fun is the garden going to be? Lots. I know we've sort of.
Well, apparently we
diffused
stick to the path and
Yeah. I know we've sort of diffused some of the.
don't take the left turn at Albuquerque. I mean, do take the left turn at
So
Albuquerque.
did you want to try upstairs before going out into the garden? You said it was just that you were told it was just a loft. It may not have much.
Which, given this place, means it's going to be a useful place to go to. If nothing else, it'll give us a place that's safe to go to.
Okay, walking up there, you find most of the loft is filled with statues whose mouths are gaping open. The statues do not have a resemblance to the statues that line the chapel below. Along the south wall is the keyboard to an organ. Despite its presence, no organ pipes are visible here.
Okay.
And you can count out 88 statues.
80? Fuck. Because they're all bloody cockatrice victims.
No.
No?
A cockatrice victim only lasts for 24 hours.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Okay. This is something the Penadine obviously doesn't know, and I'm not entirely positive how many keys an organ has, But I'm pretty certain the piano has 88 keys.
Yes, it does.
It does have 88 keys on the organ.
So they got tuned skulls. I'll be back in a moment.
And the sculpture work on these statues are so detailed you can even see the pores in the skin.
Mm-hmm. Do they look a similar style to the ones downstairs with the Amberwool family ones?
Better quality statues. Whoever sculpted these could capture the lifelike look of someone. Perfect lifelike look.
Including the look of horror as they turn to stone?
Well, they look like they're singing.
Right. Well, yes. Pettidy is no bard, so he doesn't need to play with an organ. Or find out that the statues do sing.
Well, it is stone and it's not metal.
Well, that's true. I'm just trying to think whether or not Pettidy's got any way of returning back from stone. I very much doubt it. So,
I believe that is greater restoration.
Mm-hmm. If we had it, we would have used it on the is it Madeline or someone? Because I think that was also the insanity side of the house.
I believe it is. Yeah, that they get rid of curses at lesser restoration, but not insanities.
Yeah. And I'm guessing that being turned to stone doesn't count as a curse.
No, it does not. It's normally a magical effect.
Yeah.
So yes, well, as I said, Pettidy doesn't actually know enough to recognise 88 statues for 88 keys for piano, although and doesn't look at the organ enough to count the keys. So he can walk away in blissful ignorance.
What does Llewellyn want to do?
Well, on the other hand, has a background where he would recognise such a thing. By the way, here's a cool photo.
Yeah, that is very cool.
Not photoshopped, as it says. It is a dog doing the leap. Where's Vicky?
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Going for a frisbee.
That is a dog leaping off his owner's back for a frisbee. Yeah, very, very spear-like posture.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Keyboard.
Hmm?
88 people. Is there anything in the detail of what they're wearing or what they look like?
They look like they're like a master crafter has made them. They look so lifelike it's uncanny.
Yes, but is there a distinction between them that gives some way of ordering them in a way that is consonant with a instrument keyboard?
Well, the keyboard is on the sidewall.
Right.
As a normal keyboard.
But they got the mouse. This is.
How much experience
They
has
are. No.
how much experience has Cluel had with a church choir?
Well, this is a cross between a church choir and an organ.
Yes, but I suspect that the statues are laid out as they would be for a church choir.
Yes. Which means.
And then the keys are laid out as an organ, and then
Yes.
whoever actually sings at that moment in time.
Actually, no. I think it's more. They are the music makers. That's why they open mouths for the keyboard over there. So they're the sound output.
Yeah, it's just like the fact that we can't see any pipes for the organ, and
Yes.
that's because it comes out of these instead.
That's right.
But as I said, Pettidy is not making that assessment.
Yes, and it's some group of paralysed people who are about to be spiked, and the only thing they can do is scream. And it's tuned.
Well, no, they're not paralysed because they're definitely made of stone.
Oh, I know, but it
They're
would be,
petrified.
yeah. Well, they look like they're petrified. Unfortunately, I don't have anything to turn them back.
No. They don't look scared. They're just petrified.
Yes, that's right. So I'll go over and look at the organ.
Mm-hmm. It looks like a functional organ. I haven't seen a lot of use.
Has any stops on it or anything like that, or just a keyboard?
Just a keyboard.
I play a few notes.
Each time you do it, one of a different statue, depending on which key, makes a noise. At the perfect pitch.
Okay. So it sounds like a church organ.
It sounds like a person actually singing the note perfectly.
Oh, cool. I want to keep this, and I can't. Okay.
So look, Harry, you just have to get 88 people. Who have singing quality voices.
Yeah, and then enchant them into a magic item, a magic instrument.
Yeah. Well, what were you doing for your
Basic.
What were you doing for your 24 weeks of downtime?
Giving employment to the homeless. He says.
That was good for you, now.
Yeah, he says, grinning maniacally, and falling into the depths of depravity.
So yes, you do realise that each is basically a well-trained voice. Has the quality of an opera singer.
Right. So what gets interesting there is, are they actually people that have been stoned using a very specific version of the Flesh to Stone spell, or have they been made this way and it just looks creepy? Because the first one is really creepy.
You'd think it's probably the first version.
Oh, okay.
Very creepy.
If it wasn't the first version, then the sculptor was truly exquisite in his detail
That's
for
right.
each individual statue.
Yes, I wouldn't be surprised if these are all sort of kidnapped Frenchmen. I'll play a few more notes, see if they sing in a French accent.
So, give me a performance roll.
14.
14. Okay, let's see.
Untrained, but 14.
Yeah.
So you go play music in the background while Brady is having a look around.
You
That's
know,
definitely a French accent.
he was blissfully ignorant until you had to go and touch keys.
Yeah, this is what it does, Brady.
See, not spooky at all. Or I can do the other one. That's the same one.
Yes.
Okay, so let's have. So yes, you're now you realise you've been playing with petrified people.
I'm going to leave it alone and walk away now.
And a little part of you just wants to keep going back and playing.
Yes.
Why do you think
As
I'm
you start to
leaving?
walk away, but assuming you eventually do, Penny will say, "Have you had your fun?"
And you hear the bag of soda going, I want more.
I give it another coin.
And there's another slurping sound.
It's a beautiful, beautiful instrument. Unfortunately, that beautiful, beautiful instrument is made of people.
I noticed. I'm not certain we can do anything about it right now, though.
Yeah, no,
Brady's little voice, he said, we can keep playing it.
I'll just double check, but it's possible that I might be able to get the right spell as a ritual to be able to do something about it. I could just do contact other plane and let them deal with it.
I'm not certain that contacting another plane from this location would be all that effective.
Or useful or safe.
You never know, he might be dialing home and that's his other plane he's called.
Right, so I do contact on the plane,
And your mum
Yeah.
picks up.
or some random voice. Hi, this is Dave. What's up?
So, or, thank you for calling. Your call is important to us. Please hold.
By the way, we wish to talk to you about your insurance.
And you have a credit card to pay for the services you're about to acquire. A credit what?
I'm using an expense account.
Okay, well, Kennedy is keen to keep moving.
Yeah.
Okay, as you head out, you can hear the echoing of your organ play going around the whole church.
I stopped playing that 10 minutes ago. It's obviously entirely too enthusiastic. So,
And you head
And-
back out to the path.
and Stone to Flesh is not learnable as a ritual spell. There's a clue, really.
Okay, so as you enter the gardens and continue further along,
Returns to noon.
it returns to noon as soon as you step into the gardens,
Yep,
and the ominous music picks up.
it's up. Well, we are sort of getting near the end of this, I think.
So a strange feeling hangs over as you walk down the pathway towards the eastern wing. And looking ahead, it feels as if some ominous presence is sitting in the foliage or in the trees over the path.
It's usually us, though, isn't it?
It's usually you who's the ominous thing to worry about.
Well, Kennedy is certainly alert and watching everywhere.
Okay, so you both get perception rolls as you're getting paranoia happening.
Yes. I actually think. Yeah, no, I don't actually. have
19 for Kennedy.
20 on the dice.
Okay, so
We're good.
you both notice all the flowers in the on the trees and on the ground all turning and watching you and following you as you walk past, and they all have faces on them.
We both point this out to each other very quietly,
And-
simultaneously.
Llewell recognizes some of them as various members of the Amber family he's met.
I mentioned this to Brady.
What do you mean they're members of the family?
The faces on the plants are actual people that we have met, and they're Amberville family members.
You mean that?
I get the impression someone's fed them into the forest, or they've died and their souls have come here.
No, they're actual people you've met.
As in, like, spoken to.
Spoken to. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
they
Yeah.
it looks like the living face of Charles and
Yeah.
Amberville or one of the others you've met. So they don't look like they're dead people. They look like they're the
Actual
face
people.
of those people.
Right, which means we might see a couple of faces of people we've met because they're not lion-like anymore.
That was why you even got the lion-like looking one.
Oh, okay.
So they look like as you've met them.
Yeah.
Not if we saw them in portrait.
No, she's
Right.
looking in portraits, but as
So,
you've met them.
right, so either we can look at them, question them, or they'll leap at us and try and rip our faces off.
But Jeremy doesn't actually notice any distinction.
Yeah. Well, I did mention it to him, so.
He can't see what
It's
you're talking
people.
about. He just sees the faces. They just got little faces on them. And don't worry, there is only an ominous picture of a creature on the next page. I'm sure it's got nothing to do with what's about to happen.
No, I'm sure that's fine. That's all right.
A Setia druid or something.
Riding an elk with a flag.
Yes.
Well, a spear flag.
Yes.
I'm sure he'll plant his flag somewhere. Okay, so what do you wish to do at this stage?
Well, noting the fact that we've already had the killer vines, whatever type stuff at one stage,
Yes.
Kennedy is encouraging to stick to the centre of the path and Move quickly.
Yep.
Okay. So, as you move down there, all they do is seem to watch you as you go. So,
I wave to them and smile.
the trees around the sweeping curve are sparser than usual, and the area between the trees is filled with tall grasses and giant flowers. There are two types of flowers. Some look like amber-coloured lilies, and others look like white roses. The white lily buds are closed, while the rose buds are open.
Do we want to persuade those to open or not?
Well, if anyone looks like they're heading towards the flowers, Penedier will once again remind about the white roses that don't stay white.
Yes, I'm going to stay away from the foliage and vegetation. Because it's either bloody dangerous or far too inviting and bloody dangerous.
Yep.
One of the nice things about them being able to put them in a bigger bag, a bigger book like this, is a hell of a lot more art.
So yes, again, Penedier will be encouraging fast movement and don't stop to smell the flowers.
Okay,
Smell the roses.
as you're moving past them, the amber flowers open up and the whole area fills with thick pollen. So each person gets to make a Constitution saving throw versus poison.
I told you not to stop to smell them.
So that's just me then.
Yeah.
Because Parody the immune to flowers.
So it's about the size of a sunflower.
Which is huge.
Well, if he wasn't immune to poison, he would get potentially advantage thanks to his necklace of adaptation.
Yes. Yes, he would. Here's me flapping out in the breeze.
Well, hey, you can get advantage because Penedier told you not to stop to smell them.
Yes.
Oh, you got advantage. You got warning, so you got advantage.
Yes. I'm holding my breath. Right.
Well, you worded it well enough. I was happy to take it.
Yes. Just one roll?
2 rolls because you got advantage.
Of course. 19 on the dice.
Well, no one doesn't pass you in comp.
What's my save bonus? There.
Didn't you remember it from your last poison saves?
Yeah, maybe.
It's okay, you make the saving throw.
Yeah, it's. I got 21.
So you manage to get past, and you do notice that the white rose bushes sort of shudder as you continue on without giving them their feed.
Yeah, yes.
So the garden path ends in a 10-foot wide door in the eastern wall.
Yeah.
3 massive stones form an archway over the path. In front of the door, the only apparent way to get to the door is by passing beneath the dolmen arch. A steady patter of blood drips from the underside of the arch, and it looks extremely difficult to pass beneath it without becoming blood splattered.
Now,
Really don't want to get blood splattered.
this door doesn't look the same as the door we came in from the west wing, does it?
It does not.
Alright. I put my shield over my head and walk under the arch. Thereby only my shield will get blood splattered.
Okay.
I will then clean my shield afterwards. Because if you're going to get blood splattered, something out there wants to smell you.
Okay, so give me a
But is the door open on the other side? Could he go straight through with it? Or he's got to wait under the arch to open the door or
This is
get through?
This is what my charisma check's for, I think.
This is him moving underneath to get to it.
Yep. With charisma, that's 17.
You got a 17? Okay, so you manage to avoid the blood falling on you. And you open the door without any problems.
Cool.
So, Jeremy.
Pedadir does not have a shield.
I can hold my shield up for you to go underneath it.
I suspect that the archway might be a bit wider than that if it's made of 3 giant stones.
It is a big double door.
Yes, but you only need to use 2 feet of it.
Well, he will aim to duck through as quickly as possible without getting splattered.
Give me a charisma saving throw.
And I can clean you up afterwards anyway.
Well, it seems that the 20s have run out.
Okay.
Where am I? Charisma saving throw?
Yep.
With my charisma saving throw of +2, I get 3.
Okay, so
Have we got rerolls?
you want to use a reroll?
If we had them available.
You do have them available.
We do. We've got at least 2.
Yeah. Not much time rest of the night, so
Okay.
I'll avoid the natural one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, much better.
Natural 4.
I wish it was that high.
Okay, so
I
Jeremy.
now get to 5
So-
with my +2.
So the thing is, if you make a save, nothing happens. If you do not make the save, you gain temporary luck.
Ah.
Individuals who fail their saves have advantage on all attack rolls and saving throws for the duration of their time spent here. In addition, you gain a bonus of 1d4 to all damage rolls and to your armor class.
Oh. So
What you're saying is that when I thought the luck on my die had run out by not giving me the 20s,
Yeah.
the luck was actually continuing.
So you've gained 4 to your armor class and to your damage rolls
Wow.
for the duration of your stay here.
Okay. +4 AC and damage.
Oh, that's right. I forgot a thing. I ducked back through the doorway. Oh no, I got covered in blood. Sorry, munchkin thinking.
It's sort of like eating the food. There was some good and some bad.
Mm.
And you don't know
Yeah.
what the good is, you don't know what the bad is,
And
but
that's
they're
the-
all worded the same.
Yeah, and that's the problem with it. You know there's going to be something really frigging bad in there.
Well, dripping blood, you'd think there was a fair chance of bad.
Mm.
Okay, so
Exactly.
you step in.
I'm personally surprised that there's not rose bushes growing all around this stones.
Yeah.
There would be lovely red roses all the time.
Yes. Yeah. That's the thing, that maybe blood that's antithetical to what they are.
The walls of this room are covered with mosaics depicting courtly scenes. The floor is a polished marble. 2 thrones sit atop of a raised dais. At the east end of the room, a red velvet carpet runs from the double doors to the thrones. A skeletal figure sits on each throne. The skeletons are dressed in rotten velvet. 1 skeleton holds a jeweled mace. 20 skeletons stand on guard, 10 along each north and south walls. The skeletons wear rusted armor and carry halberds with rusted blades. Another dozen skeletons wearing decayed court dress stand in front of the thrones. Balconies lie 20 feet overhead, running halfway across the north and south walls. And along the entire length of the eastern wall, more skeletons are visible, leaning on balconies, railings, as if watching the proceedings below. This is basically a massive throne room.
Mm-hmm.
It will be able to give you.
Far too many skeletons if they're more than a few active.
So, each one of those
Okay,
squares
yep.
is 10 foot.
10-foot squares. Okay.
So when you say how big the chapel was, the throne room is almost as big as the chapel.
One would expect it to be that size.
Nothing like access for these scandals.
Yeah.
And look, you haven't even gone into their play areas yet.
Oh, goody. And yeah, I thought that was actually. I was just thinking, I wonder how effective my secret craft aura will be. But I was thinking, no, that's definitely just spirits, not undead.
Well, yes.
or not corporeal undead.
Yes.
And
Do the magic look at the room.
Yep.
See which things are magic and which aren't.
well, and while he's doing that, then
Yeah.
Benedict's also looking around to find out. Okay, hopefully none of the skeletons are moving.
Okay.
Especially watch out for the pair with stealth.
Okay, so having a look around, you see necromantic energy swirling the room. Give me a intelligence investigation check.
Okay. Not very high, unfortunately. Investigation is not trained. 12.
Okay, so as you're looking there, you see a spirit of magic fly towards both of you, seemingly aiming for one of you. Roll any dice and pick either odd or even.
But also, I'd be interested to know if you yell out spirit attacking or something.
I was
'Cause
about to say I'm going to call that out as I make this roll.
in which case, Benedict will immediately try and activate his aura.
Yep. Right, so odds are odds.
Odds you.
And I get a 5. That's me.
So you see a spirit of a woman flying towards you. Tall blonde woman in her 50s. Eyes are dark green and seem to pierce through your soul. And basically she looks like she's mad.
Right, as if she's going to attack me.
As if she is out of her mind. So all the animals
It's
you've
saying
seen so
like
far
the rest
look
of them.
sane compared to her now.
Even the nutty ones.
Even the nutty ones look like they're sold of sanity.
Right.
That's the insane look you have in her eyes as she's locked eyes with you and is flying.
She's coming
into
for
your
you.
eyes.
Yes. Alright. I'm going to use...
And we leave it on the cliffhanger as she comes with her claws out to his neck.
We could, but I'll give you initiative rolls.
Yeah.
See what happens.
If we get initiative, we get to act. If not, it's a cliffhanger, right? Did you get a 20?
No. I told you.
You got
Dice had
4.
already changed for the night.
You got 4, didn't you?
No, I wish I got 4.
You got 3.
I rolled an extra 1,
Right.
which gets me to 7.
Brilliant.
I told you to hold on.
Yeah.
What did you all get?
I got 14.
You got 14. She gets...
So you'll note that my last 3 rolls have been 1,
10.
4, 1, 3, and 1.
Okay, Llewellyn, you're up first. As you see this.
Right. She looks inimical. She looks mad.
She's just coming to say hello, surely.
No, not with a face like that. So, to be useful to you, I'm going to give her a guiding bolt, which is an attack versus armor class. And many dice. This guiding bolt does a swack load of base damage and then gives an advantage to the next person who hits it. a lovely spell to start a fight with.
That's the right discordant tunes.
Mm.
Especially since there are warlocks involved. Is it D4? Is it D4? Okay. So, rolly dicey. Oops. Oh, I probably missed. Fuck. 14.
14 it is.
Oops. Um, 17, 20, 23, 24. And that one is 30 flat.
30 for that.
Radiant.
Okay. Well, actually,
If she's incorporeal, it should be half damage, I think. That's the condition.
yeah, she doesn't have that safety.
Oh.
Okay, so Jeremy, you're up next. She actually rolled worse than you.
That was a good try. Okay, I will step up close to Cool and activate my aura against spirits.
Nice.
So yes, I can sense Burke within 60 feet, granting you advantage on attack rolls 7 threats relating to spiritual sense. 3 different concentrations. And yeah, so I will also take a point of soul burn to
Bring it up.
activate it as a rite of warding, so that it also activates as protection from evil and good against spirits.
Okay, so you feel the pain rush through you as you give up some of your soul to bring up a warding between you and it. At this point, you recognize it is the spirit of Catherine Amber, one of the family members that has apparently died after Stefan died.
Yeah.
And she bounces off the shield.
Right.
And as she circles you, you see the door open as Tidal manages to stumble in, as it seems to aim towards him, and we'll finish there for the night.
Yeah. Do make a note that the next person who hits her has advantage. Because she's still got the glimmer of the effect of the guiding bolt on her.
How long does that actually last for?
In this place, until someone hits her.
Yeah.
Like, okay, yeah, because I was
Okay.
thinking whether
Normally it's the next hit in 10 rounds or a minute.
About that.
Same
Oh,
thing.
okay, so you get
Same
multiple rounds. It's not a case of it's got to happen within the round before your next action type stuff. So
So no, it does actually specify within a round.
within a round, okay.
Yeah, so it's this round or the next round.
Okay.
So you've actually got a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah.
If you got
okay. It's like Penadeg actually got advantage anyway with his aura up. So
yes.
But yes.
Yes, but this does mean that Tidal, who is going to basically walk in and get targeted, is going to hit it and go, "Oh, that was easy."
Well, this, of course, is very good advantage for walking through the blood.
Also true. That's true.
Oh, did the blood also give advantage to it? I thought it was only.
Oh no, he did. It gave advantage and extra damage.
Yeah, it gave you
Oh,
advantage.
okay. I noted down the extra AC and extra damage, but I missed the advantage.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Okay.
the advantage was there.
Well, thank you very much for that, Irvine.
Yes.
It was fun.
Indeed.
So it was definitely you have advantage on all attack rolls and saving throws.
Yep.
Okay. That'll be handy.
It will be. Okay, so I will see you tomorrow night.
Yep, that's the plan. For the hero of Dimitri Town and his inability to roll above 5, more than likely.
And he's met a personal nemesis.
Indeed. And I'm sure they'll also not roll above 5. That's okay.
Hey, that's okay. They've already rolled a couple of natural 20s on the party.
Exactly. So they've used their options, just like Dimitri's used, or Pettidy's used Dimitri's.
Yeah, I only rolled one natural 20 today.
That's right, I made up for it.
I must have been saving him for tomorrow.
Indeed.
Okay, good day, Jeremy.
Good night all. Thanks very much. We'll catch you tomorrow night or next week or the week after. Here we go.
All good.
Good night.
Good night.
Stay safe.
Good night.